All right. Well, we are at 6:01 here. And Dave, I know you're on now. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. How you doing, man? Good to have you. All right, so we are going to get started here. So welcome, everybody, to the Hudson Public Utilities Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 11th. We are going to start with a roll call from Jace.
Hassan,
Here.
Corum,
Here.
Paul,
Here.
Nolan,
Here.
Kreisel, T-Winkle. Okay, I think that should do that.
All right. So before we get this started off, I just wanted to just make a quick comment here. As you guys know, recently Kip sent out a message to everybody just in regards to a little situation we had at the wastewater treatment plant, but I wanted to take a quick moment. I wanted to commend Kip and his entire team for the exceptional work that they did down at the wastewater treatment plant. They really handled themselves pretty remarkably, especially in the middle of the night. Kip reached out to me very, very late in the morning and kind of informed me what was going on, but they took care of it. It was pretty awesome, but I just wanted to go ahead and publicly congratulate you guys and commend you on a job well done. So great job, Kip, and to your entire team.
Thank you. I'll definitely let them know.
Please do. So we're going to just jump right into this. So right away, we got approval of April 13th meeting minutes. Move to approve.
Move to approve.
We got a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dave. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Moving on to number 3, old business. Kip?
Nothing under old business.
Okay. Number 4. Moving on to new business. Go ahead, Kip. We got.
Okay, so the 2021 PSC rate case update. Eric Granum is here with Trilogy, who is our financial consultants that we have to help us along with this. He'll just kind of give us a quick update. I did put a bunch of attachments in the packet for everybody. I don't know, Eric, would it be easier? Do you want to share screen? Do you want me to share screen? Do you want, is there anything that we need to, or, because I know he had if you go to your first attachment, the summary of the PSC adjustments, it just kind of lays everything out on where we're at. We had, and I guess just so everybody's aware that back in June of 2020, we had anticipated about a 10.7% increase, and currently it is at a 17.2. That is what the PSC is recommending. So I guess Eric can maybe just kind of walk through that and tell us why and what. Do you guys want me to share my screen just so you can see or can everybody find what? I know this new format's kind of a little.
Why don't you go ahead and share your screen, and then we can all just see it and we can talk through it then. That'd probably be best.
All right. So are you guys seeing it now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we can just kind of start with here, Eric, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, just to kind of refresh everyone's memory, back in June of last year, so it's been almost a year, we presented a rate structure based on the application at the time for the rate case. And basically the concern was that we wanted the rates to reflect the actual water use of the various customer classes. The biggest concern thinking that the irrigation rate was too high. So ultimately what we presented back in June was a rate structure where most of the increase was actually on the public fire protection charge, which is based on meter size, with the volumetric rates seeing less of an increase. Basically, since then, the PSC has went through their whole review process. They made a number of adjustments a few minor things to expenses. The two big adjustments that they made were some higher, the actual construction costs of your asset improvements, which were higher than originally estimated. And then the biggest part was a reduction in water sales. And that's based on just the actual 2019 water sales. They were down quite a bit from the previous year. So PSC adjusted those projected sales to reflect the lower amount. So that's why the rate increase is a little bit higher than it was back in June. We plugged in the new numbers with the PSC adjustments, and that's the rate structure you see here, where it says after PSC adjustments. That's the new rate structure compared to what was approved to go forward back in June of last year, and that reflects all those adjustments that PSC made, but it's still the same basic rate structure. And the PSC then reviewed our proposal. They agreed with basically everything we presented, and so they are then moving forward with that rate structure for the public hearing, which is June 2nd. So yeah, that about sums up kind of where we're at. Yeah, there isn't any questions on details, but yeah, again, we kind of they didn't have any real questions on what we proposed. So at the PSC level, so everything went pretty smoothly there.
So during 2020, there was less water being sold during COVID.
During 2019, actually. Yeah, when they made the adjustments, it was just, all the data they had was through the end of 2019.
Because
Yeah, with 2020, the water sales are going to be out of whack. So hard to say, going forward what they're going to be. But the PSC, they have to base them on something. So they based it on the most recent 2019 pre-COVID data.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but since we started the rate case in 2019, that's the test year that they'll use.
I can't remember now if it was a 2019 or 2020. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, because we started this in 2019.
Yeah.
Is when we started it, so.
What was the ultimate? So yeah, when we started, when the whole application was originally submitted, that was pre-COVID. Didn't have the 2019, final numbers yet. So
right.
A lot of the adjustments are just, everything that's happened since then.
So Eric, this is Mary, with your June 20th projections, and that net, $125,000 less in revenue of water sold, what would the net income and rate of return be?
Believe that number was up there. Yeah, right there.
If using your numbers from June 20.
Yep.
And the rates from June 20, what kind of revenue would that net the utility?
Okay, I should go over to a different sheet here.
Even with the less water sold, the $123,000 or $124,000.
Do you have it pulled up, Eric? I can make you the host if you want to just share. You want to do that?
Let me.
Or do you know where you want me to go? If you're looking for a specific sheet.
I think, let's see, we have it. Oh, I don't think I know where it is here. me just get there. So the kind of the goal revenue. Sorry, let me just restate your question. You're asking how much the total revenues would be,
Okay.
or the
The question is, taking into account using your June 2020 rates and applying that to the water sold in 2019, what would that do to net income and rate of return on investment? So instead of the utility realizing a 4.9% rate of return, would it be 4%, 3%?
Okay, I see what you're saying. That would be, might be able to calculate that fairly quick. So
These are actually really good questions that if we could get these ahead of time, we could have answers.
Sorry, I didn't think about it.
no, it's okay. It's roughly about 3.9%. Basically, yeah.
Okay, so it'd be a percent below what the PSC or what the utility asked for and the PSC is approving.
Right.
I'm just thinking, because of COVID, I'm wondering if you go with the June 20th rates that were proposed by Trilogy that the city council approved, and since those were 2019 with more people being home in 2020, wouldn't you think that that water usage would have gone up?
In 2020, yes, I would think.
Okay.
In Hudson,
So-
certainly would have gone up. Yep.
So you would think possibly worst case scenario that the utility would be operating on a 1% less rate of return for 1 year and possibly even a larger rate of return following 2020.
Possibly, yeah. It's hard to say with the water sales. It's really hard to predict, moving forward. In particular, 2021 and beyond.
I guess to add to kind of what Mary, that's kind of what I was kind of thinking the same thing when I was asking about, because of COVID. And now I think that moving forward too, there's a lot more people that are going to be working from home. I mean, that's just a given. I mean, there's tons of businesses and companies that are just having people work from home now. So I'm curious, Kip, I think you asked a great question too. Because we started the study, are we required to go with that number from 2019? Like, is that law? Are we required to do that?
Yeah, so that's what the PSC is using. Normally in a normal rate case, you're looking at about a 6 to 8 month process.
Okay.
This has taken us 2 years,
Well,
year and a half. So that's, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Eric, but so the PSC is using the 2019 or 2020 test year. 2019.
Let me go back to that.
So the way they're looking at this now, with all the information that they have, where did I see it? We're still anticipated to do a 4.9% rate of return. I seen it somewhere. I don't know where it was.
Right. That's their benchmark rate of return.
Right. So I mean, all they can do is go off the numbers. We can't adjust our rates or set our rates based on guessing of what might happen or what might not happen. They're going off of the numbers that are here.
But doesn't the city council have the option to accept the rates as they are or propose something else? And if
I don't believe they have the option. That's what we did. We did that when we hired. Normally, the PSC is just going to go through the numbers, set the rate, and then that's what you get. So we did the option with Trilogy, actually doing our own structure, and maybe Eric, you talk about that, but.
Well, right, but the
Yeah.
city council approved those particular rates.
No, they
and we were
approved.
above those rates.
No, they didn't approve. I mean,
They approved the methodology and
officially
the
don't
numbers
approve
that were
these.
presented in 2020.
Yeah, they don't officially approve anything. Back in 2020 is what when we presented that, what was it, 10.7% increase? That was what what was being considered at the time, or that's where everything came in at the time.
So was that what we approved to be submitted to the PSC? Is that what we approved?
Yeah,
So
when you
what-
switch the ratios.
Eric, maybe just
Right.
walk them through. So back in 2020, walk them through what was submitted in 2020 and then what changed to today.
Yeah, what was submitted, the comment on the ratios, we changed the demand ratios based on the new data that we had available from the meters, which reduced most of the demand ratios for all the customer classes, but in particular the irrigation and the non-residential. So when we presented that, developed a rate structure with the information we had at the time, which back then was what was included in the original application, along with some anticipated adjustments. Since the PSC hadn't yet completed their review, we didn't yet know how many more adjustments there were going to be. And generally, the PSC uses the benchmark rate of return. If you would want to request a different rate of return, they would require some more, evidence that that would be a reasonable course for the utility. But yeah, basically that didn't happen. What was submitted was the benchmark rate of return, and the big change was the sales.
But the city has the opportunity to say, hey, how about a 3.9% rate of return? The utility has 4 million in reserves. We wouldn't be cash strapped, and you'd be, you can always come back and do a simplified case after 12 months, correct?
Yeah, it's after a full calendar year of the rates being in place.
Yeah. I'm just worried, you've almost got to take this, holistically, where there's already been, and I know water is different than sewer, but they're tied together. There's it was an 11% increase in sewer rates that just happened this year. And now people are looking at a 17% increase or 25% increase for residential anyway, with fire protection this year, and 48% or 39% increase in sewer rates next year. I mean, that's getting pretty close to 100% increase in rates for water and sewer. And if it's not needed on the water side, if it's possible for the utility to get by with a 3.9% rate of return for 12 to 18 months, and then see what the 2020 water usage is and what the revenue, how the revenues stand. I don't think that's a bad course of action to take.
Mary, I think that one of the things that you said was that this is nearly 100% increase. No, it's an increase on each side that, but you
It all
can't
comes
add
out
them
of the same
together.
wallet, Joyce.
What's that?
It all comes out of the same wallet.
I know. I mean, we're looking at large increases. I'm not arguing that, but you know, if you're saying that we're having 100% increase, that means that everything is being doubled, and and people's bills are not going to be doubled.
Okay,
But
so
yes,
50 to 75% increase for both of them.
I haven't calculated what it will all be, but yeah, we're probably talking about a 50% increase altogether.
And I heard that there's also a potential increase in, well, you've got road issues and ways to fund that. That's going to be coming up soon. You know, if you're looking at being able, you talk about affordable housing and being able to live here, these kind of things are going to price people out of here pretty darn quick.
No, I get that, and I'm concerned about that, but a lot of it, we don't have a lot of choices. We've got to.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is, in this case, you may have a choice for the city to approach, or the utility in the city to approach the PSC and say, hey, we're willing to take a 3.9% return. We have a fairly healthy reserve, and we want to see the result of what COVID did.
How would so Kip and Eric, how would a 3.9% rate of return, how much would that lower our increases?
That would put you, I thought, to the June 2020.
Roughly, yeah, that would be about 120,000 less in overall revenue.
Overall revenue, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be exactly where the June 2020 rates, because, you know, of how things, you know, different pieces shift. But it would be
And
closer.
what
to
is that divided by, Eric? What is that divided by household then?
Divided by household?
Yes. If we've got $120,000 in savings, divided by household.
Well, if we have just from a simplistic thing, there are 6,600 residential meters. So that would be $18 for, you know, per year.
And that's just residential too.
That's
Right.
just residential. So it actually
Right, I think we're total about 9,000 meters, just over.
right. Yep.
Well, here's the other thing. If the June 2020 estimates were used, I'm just looking at, there are a lot of problems with the irrigation price. It's not going down. It's still going up, but not going up by quite as much for those that have irrigation meters.
Right.
Right.
Even the volume price is not going up 29 cents. It's only going up 13 cents. You know, I know it's kind of tiny. I mean, public fire protection, and this is what's funny about public fire protection, is that at the last rate case, I think it was 19 and a quarter before the last rate case, and then it dropped to 15.60. And now we're up to, if this is accepted, we're up to 22.50.
Yeah, and that reflects kind of the change in those
The 45
demand ratios.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in the NFF, right? The needed fire flow changed.
Yeah,
from
that changed slightly.
4,000 to 4,500 gallons per minute over 4 hours. That's a big change.
Oops.
You guys get to decide.
Pat, did you have anything to add? Susie?
I don't right now.
Pat, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, compared to our surrounding communities, we're still not too bad.
No.
I mean,
Right. I maintain a statewide comparison too. And I mean, currently Hudson's rates are like bottom 5 for Class AB utilities in the state.
Yeah, but are you using the same size?
An AB utility is at 10,000 people or more?
It's 4,000 customers or more.
4,000 customers or more, but you're also competing with Madison and Milwaukee for AB utilities. So if you look at the, where do you rate with the same number of meters in an AB? I mean, you can't
I don't know
use
if it's broken. I
surrounding.
don't know if it's broken down that way, but
Well, that would be more apples to
not-
apples, because you can't even take our surrounding communities because Hudson has so many more.
no. I mean, you could take River Falls and New Richmond,
Richmond,
and I know we've done that before. I don't know if Eric has that right handy, but I don't think we did it this time.
I mean, I can, look at this list. I mean, I can tell you New Richmond just had a big increase because I worked on that one too. I'm just looking at it.
So you stated, Eric, you said that we're in the bottom 5 for AB communities.
Yeah, right now,
I mean, who's 1 through 4?
Sheboygan, Manitowoc, River Falls, La Crosse.
So
And that's an average
cheaper-
customer bill.
So we're cheaper than Madison.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the next ones up are like Kenosha, Middleton, Baraboo, Eau Claire.
And I mean, every one of them communities are way larger than we are.
Mm-hmm.
So we're maintaining rates at a lower level than even way larger communities than compared
And
to.
how many of those are surface water compared to groundwater?
Probably Sheboygan.
Surface water would include Sheboygan, Manitowoc, all the Milwaukee communities, Racine, Kenosha, Green Bay. I mean, most utilities in the state are groundwater.
I just know that for my own comparison, we lived in Williams Bay for 10 years, and that was more than 10 years ago. And our water bills were more, a lot more than what we're paying in Hudson. And Hudson is just starting to catch up what we were paying 11, 12 years ago for water. So we do have low rates compared to a lot of other places. And we have higher quality. We couldn't even drink the water in Williams Bay. We had to have Culligan to, or else you needed a fancy system, purification system.
All right, does anybody else have any more comment on this? Okay. Kip, what are we looking for here then? Are we looking to?
Yeah, I
approve
mean,
this
it's just,
rate case, or-
it's going to be, so we have our public hearing on June, was it the 2nd, Eric? I don't have-
Second. Yeah,
So
it's
we have
June
our public
2nd.
Hearing on June 2nd. They're taking comments till June 8th. And I have it on the city council for June 7th, I believe. And again, I don't think it's really approving what the PSC is proposing. I think it's more information. I mean, unless
Right.
unless you guys are absolutely not, we don't want this. There's absolutely no way we're ever going to approve this. And then at that point, I guess we would definitely have to contact PSC and let them know. But it's more informational. So I don't know if we're looking for. I mean, you can approve the rate structure and move it to council for approval, and then council can do what they want with it. Because I know I did send out. You guys should all received emails on this, and along with the council, I believe they forwarded on, or Aaron forwarded it on. So everybody is aware, because we wanted to make everybody aware of that 10.7 to 17.9 or whatever that was. So we did want to make them aware, or everybody aware of that it has gone up or changed since 2020. We wanted to get that out there, and if there was any comments from council or anything like that, we're hoping to get response back, but we have not received anything from city.
Yeah.
Because they received this that I'm showing right now. That basically just lays out what was presented, or what the PSC is proposing.
So this already went to city council.
Well, it went to city council just as information, not on an agenda yet. But it went to them as information so they could see it. So they didn't have to wait till they get their packets to see it. But we have not received any comments of any kind from.
Yeah, I guess just to add, the PSC holds the final authority on the water rates. And so, there's the public comment period is open till the 8th. So if there's any other comments, that is one way to address those in front, to get it to the commission.
Okay. I do think Mary brings up a valid point. Obviously, with COVID, that brings up some strange times. But at the same time, I know that for years we've talked about how we haven't had a water rate increase for a really long time, and Hudson's always been at the lower end of the spectrum for it. So I understand why it's going in the direction it's going. I mean, the city has grown exponentially. We've got a lot of things we got to pay for too, and we get that money from impact fees. So I understand it, but at the same time, it is a jump. Change is not always easy for everyone, especially when you're asking people to pay more money. So that's difficult. Especially, I'm a resident here and I pay my bills. So, I guess I'll be curious to see if council has anything to say differently about this as well once this gets on the agenda. So, all right. Any other comment? Nothing? All right. So Kip, are we looking for an motion to approve?
I think at the very least I think at the very least, you should be, moving this forward to council for discussion and approval or something along that line.
Okay. So we'll take a motion to approve the structure and send it over to council for final approval so they can review. Would anyone like to motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, moving on. 4.2. Wastewater treatment plant.
You guys just want me to keep my screen shared?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Eric.
Yep, no problem.
So on 3/17/2021, we had a wastewater treatment inspection. It's basically our inspection where they come through the entire plant. They spend the whole day down there, look at everything with effluent limits, what's in our permit, how is the plant being run, So the treatment plant was found in substantial compliance with effluent limits and all terms and conditions of the permit, which is no small feat with everything that's going on down there. You know, with everything that's being tore up, with everything that's being diverted, things of that nature. So we did have the inspection report here, which is, 40 some pages long. There's really nothing real substantial. There was 10 questions that right at the start here that he was looking for clarification on and things like that. So I did go in and actually do the responses here, so you can kind of see what the responses were. Most of the stuff that he was wondering about are things that are going to be done or replaced as part of the wastewater treatment project that's happening now. So there was, just some basic information like that, things that we might want to consider in the future, some safety devices that he'd like to see around some of the tanks and things like that. So yeah, I mean, unless there's any specific questions on this, it was a good report. These are pretty much questions or suggestions, recommendations from the DNR basin engineers. So, again, if you guys got specific questions on anything, there was nothing outstanding, nothing that really stood out that, that they're doing wrong, or that we need to correct. So.
Questions or comments?
You can accept it. I have informational only, no action is required. It'd probably be a good idea just to accept it so we have it in record.
Okay. Any questions or comments before we put a motion out to accept this?
Just that it looks better, Kip, than a lot of other ones that I've seen, especially in the past. I know when you first came on the commission as director, we were dealing with a very bad one. So this one looks good. So thank you.
Well, we'll get, this is the wastewater one. So the thing that we'll be talking about over here is the water. And again, I don't know why they call it a DNR sanitary survey report, because it is for water, but that's what they call it. So this is the wastewater treatment plant report that was done. But yeah, it's, like I said, with everything going on down there right now, everything being tore up, flows being diverted through different parts of the plant. The guys are doing a fantastic job down there, and
Yes,
this
they are.
report kind of reflects that on them.
Awesome. Thanks, Kip. All right, so can we get a motion to approve and accept the wastewater treatment plant DNR inspection?
So moved.
Second. Joyce, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everybody. 4.3.
Okay, so this is the 2021 Hudson Water DNR sanitary report. So Corey Larson, our DNR basin engineer, was here on 2/25 and 3/10. I conducted a sanitary survey of Hudson and North Hudson. This report outlines the final findings, discussion issues that need to be addressed, and timelines for corrective actions where appropriate. There were 0 deficiencies found. 10 deficiencies were identified, and since has been reduced to 7, and I believe that number is even down even more now. So of these 7 deficiencies, 4 are due, and I'll walk through this just to tell you what or point it out where they are, what the deficiency was, and what our response was to that. So this is just kind of the cover letter that comes through. I do have to respond by the end in the next couple of days here that they've been corrected or that we agree to correct the deficiencies. So once it goes through you guys, I will make that response back to DNR, and we'll get that taken care of. So your significant deficiencies, we had none, which is great. This is where you don't want any information in here. Your deficiencies, you can see the things that have been crossed out. So when the report was done, when Corey was here, some of the information that he was really looking for. It took us a little while to gather it. So he went back, he did the report. And then as he does once he had the report done and once we started turning more information in that we didn't have available when he was on site, then things kind of started getting crossed off here. So I do have a more current one on my computer, just kind of going down. So anything that's crossed out has already been taken care of. If we go down to this one has not been taken care of. So it's basically just some gaskets that need to be attached to the covers on some of our manholes that are on our storage towers or on our tanks. So we'll get that taken care of. That's pretty minor. Next one down here, right in this area, is that dealing with the private wells in the community. So I permitted them 5 years ago. They're due again this year. So I already have 2 of the 5 of them completed. Letters were sent out early in the year. So 2 of the 5 private wells that are owned by citizens, 2 of the 5 have already been updated. So the other 3 are in the works. So we'll take care of that. That's not an issue. This water storage facilities are not inspected. That can be crossed off. That is done. So we turned in all that information. We got this all straightened out. The next one is done. So that one has been taken care of. So that one's already off the checklist. And then the other one.
Excuse me, Kip, that was the pressure tank one?
Yes.
Have you gotten the well report from well 5 yet? Any recommendations?
It's in and running already.
No. The report, once they completed it, the inspection report, were there any recommendations in the report?
Oh, no. Everything actually went probably out of all the wells that I pulled since we've been here. That was probably the best one. They didn't find anything that was, when you pull a well, you just don't know. So they do the best that they can when they generate a proposal on that. And we came in, I believe it was right at that proposal or just under that proposal on there.
Did they check to see how far down the well was cased? Did they drill a hole and figure that out? Because I know that was on another sanitary sewer report.
Yeah, I would have to go back and read the report, to be honest. I don't know right off the top of my head if that was done. I'm sure if it was part of the recommendations, it was, but I can't tell you right now for positive. So other than that, so those are all done. Then you just kind of get down into some things that are due in 2022, 2024, 2024. And some of these, if when you talk about, this is the cast iron, 4-inch cast iron between Hudson and North Hudson. So we are currently working on that, or it's actually sitting on hold right now, but we know what to do there.
Since this came up in 2015, has anybody, has maybe the dive team gone down there for for practice and seeing if it's covered or not?
No, not that I'm aware of.
I mean,
I don't even know how anybody even seen it.
Yeah, I know.
Supposedly they seen it, or somebody seen it, or somebody said they might have seen it. I really don't know. I've stood on the bridge and looked, and I can't see it, but maybe it's certain times a year. I really don't know, Mary.
Well, it's to the east of the bridge a little bit, I think.
It's to the east of the bridge, correct? Yeah. And then down here, these are just some things that they're dead ends that we need to kind of be corrected, just as we do projects, things like that. So I mean, overall, it's a very good report. There's, like I said, the main thing that you're looking for are your up here, your significant deficiencies, and we did not have any of them in this report. So
awesome. Any other questions? Okay,
We will need a motion on that to accept that, and then that way I can respond back that it has been accepted.
great. Thank you. All right, so motion to accept the Hudson Water DNR sanitary survey report.
So moved.
Got a second?
I'll second that.
Thanks, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on, 4.4 dam project.
This is the final pay request from Pember. So once we get this processed, we can actually start gathering all the information, putting everything together, sending it to DNR for our grant reimbursement on that, which is a 50% of the total project grant. So yeah, they're the final pay request number 2 from Pember in the amount of $73,818.63.
Awesome. Any questions on this?
Kip, you're satisfied with everything?
Yeah. It actually came in a little bit under what they had anticipated.
Good deal. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, and I mean everything meets. DNR was there. DNR is signed off, or they're happy with everything, and they're the ones that made us do it. So, or suggested we do it, I should say.
Awesome.
Move to approve payment.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Pat, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on, 4.5 Magni Pay App.
Okay, so this is Magni Pay App number 11 in the amount of $547,642.61.
Wastewater.
So this is just kind of showing you here where we're at in the project. Contract amount, change orders, revised, completed. So just kind of keeps a running total of where we're at.
Move to approve.
Got a second?
I've got a couple questions.
Please.
In our metal craftsman invoice, the page 178 of the packet, it's $500, and it's a notation that says this invoice is an extra to the base contract. Is that the base contract with Magni? And are we going to be seeing that, or is
No, that all of this stuff goes through Magni.
Okay?
So that must be a part of their base contract.
So the $8,000 change order from Roof Tech, that's the next page. That change order is part of Magni's bid, and they're absorbing that?
Yes, I shouldn't say that for certain. I don't know for certain. I know we've been having a lot of issues, and it's just not the wastewater treatment plant project. I know we've been having a lot of issues with pipe prices right now, steel prices right now, all that kind of stuff. I'm not finding where
Page 179 of the packet.
See, mine's kind of different than I'm showing you. I'm on page.
Okay, you've got to go back up. It's like the fourth.
Page 11 of 27, Kip.
11.
It's the fourth page after their bottom pay request thing page. Says total changes approved in previous month by owner. So I didn't know if that was owner City of Hudson or owner.
No, we didn't approve anything for Roof Tech, so that would not have been approved by us. So that must be approved by owner.
Well,
Roof Tech does not work for us.
Right, but
And I have not seen a change order for anything like this. So Maggie must have approved that change order.
Okay, it's just that the invoice says to owner City of Hudson at the top. From Roof Tech.
Yeah, but we have not approved it. We have not approved that change order. So the only person that would have approved it would have been Maggie. I'll double check on that, but that's.
Yeah, so is this stuff then, I guess I'm just confused if it's part of that 547,000.
Part of the total.
So I just printed that, so I'll double check on that.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't see it in their change order part or.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't have any change orders as of right now. But I will double check on that. Because you're talking right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions? So for this one specifically, Kip, we'll probably wait until we can do some clarification on that to see if that was included in there, especially if you know for a fact you haven't signed any change order or signed off on it.
I mean, I can get clarification on it, but do you want to hold up a
So let's
crap? Let me hold on there.
yeah, let's do this then.
Hold up a $547,000 payment for $8,000.
No.
I'll get clarification. That's not a problem.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's go ahead.
Because you can approve pay apps now, and things will wash out in the end. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'd hate to see holding up that amount of pay app
Right.
for an $8,000 question.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying 8,000 isn't a lot. I agree.
No.
But I'll get some clarification on that. And what I can do is then send that out just as an email to you guys so you're aware.
Okay. Is everybody good with that? Yeah? Okay. So we'll take a motion to approve the pay order to Magni in the amount of $547,642.61.
I already made the motion.
Thank you, Joyce. We got a second.
Second.
Second from Susie. All in favor? Aye. Carries. Thank you. Project updates, project status report.
All right. Yeah, I mean, how do you even contemplate where we're at in this? It's such a nightmare down there right now, but we're just anticipating probably 10%, 50% on the wastewater treatment plant. Lake Malibu, like I said, is 100%. So as soon as we get everything rounded up, we'll get that in for payments. So that's pretty much it for status report.
All right. Thank you, Kip. So moving on. Other business.
So you got your construction summary. This is what SEH kind of puts together on what's been happening down there. So the cast in place concrete channels and floors were completed. Next step is the precast concrete walls. They actually started them today. So if you drive by there today, you're going to see, 30-foot tall walls precast. The crane was in there today. They'll be in there tomorrow, getting all the precast set. New air diffusers in the middle tanks were installed and commissioned. Next step is begin treating wastewater in this tank before they can take some of the other tanks offline and then start the process on those. Upstairs floor, ceiling, and bathroom showers were installed. Next steps are bathroom accessories before allowing staff to move back upstairs. And then the UV disinfection channel cover plates and railings were installed. UV equipment began disinfecting the water and meeting the permit. And that was, I believe, about a month ago. So it's been in effect for about a month. So
Awesome.
Just a brief summary of kind of what's going on down there right now. So couple nice pictures in here. just kind of what they're up to. This is where they're setting the precast walls right around this structure here. So here's your activated sludge with all the new diffusers, the air diffusers in there. Then just one of the bathrooms, and then just kind of an overview of your UV. So
Awesome.
I have something for the commission. Just for informational purposes, just to let you know, North Hudson is reviewing the proposed water agreement and it's with the attorneys right now.
Thank you. All right. Moving on, we are into the sewer utility and water utility cash reports.
all right. So there is sewer. This is March. Let me know if you want to look at them, or I'm just going to click through them. If you want to come back to one. Here's water March. Yeah, because we didn't have these last month, so that's why you're getting March and April this month. Here's April cash. You can see that we have had our payments from the clean water fund loan. So and water for April.
Any questions on this? No? All right. Do we need a motion to approve this cash report, Cap?
No, not the cash report.
No, not cash report, just the next
Okay.
one, the payables, yes.
Perfect.
So then you move on down, Andy, to 8.
Yep. I was just looking over here at this still. Discussion and possible action on claims, utility payables.
Hopefully these are a little better than last month to read.
Move to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that, Andy.
Thanks, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. And we are at adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.